Good evening, people. How are you doing today? Well, I hope you are doing preparation in a very focused manner. So, here we are again with another awesome video for you people. So, just relax and enjoy the video. So, till now, we have done chapter 26 till transport chapter, and this is an India Yearbook 2016 series going on, and this we have done first 26 chapters, and in this part we'll do chapter number 27 and chapter number 29. 28 we'll do in the next video. That is a more important in respect to these particular chapters. So if you like the video, you hit like, subscribe to our channel, share our videos, comment on the comment section given below. So this chapter number 28 is water resources. So in these water resources, what kind of questions can be asked, I will just let you know as well. Anyways, we have a ministry for this purpose, that is Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. So this is the whole ministry. So now river development and Ganga rejuvenation is also part of the Ministry of Water Resources. You can read this first paragraph or just have a better understanding regarding how the ministry works out. Come to next, that is Namami Gange. So this is important, you can remember certain things about it. So there is an integrated Ganga conservation mission. So this integrated Ganga conservation mission is known as Namami Gange. So means the Ganga river is to be went through the conservation in an integrated manner. And this whole conservation mission in this integrated manner is called as Namami Gange. So certain budget allocation has been done this and that is quite okay, you can leave it. So it is also to be supplemented also development of ghats and beautification river fronts at various places also going on along with this. Then this Namami Gange, it actually pursues this Ganga rejuvenation by consolidating the existing ongoing efforts and planning for a concrete action plan for future. So it means the already existing efforts, those will be consolidated under this Namami Gange program. So this is particularly focused over Ganga rejuvenation. Alright, so under which ministry? Under the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. So no need to worry, it's very easy because you can see Namami Gange, Ganga Rejuvenation, the name itself appears in the name of ministry. So you can remember it easily. So what question can be asked? I take you just differentiate between this one. Okay, what about the other rivers? If their conservation plans are there, under which ministry those plans will be implemented? So is it particularly for, is this ministry particularly focusing on Namami Gange or any other river conservation plan also come under this particular ministry? So these kind of questions can be there. So I take you to my notes in OneNote. So we'll try to find out the first environment, where environment is. Here it is. So questions, what kind of question can be there that other ministries or say Ministry of Environment Forest, is there any particular department that is working under that for that focus over conservation of the rivers on their fronts? Okay, I think where it should be. You guys till then get some pen and paper. Also Okay, what is suffer? Till then I will ask some questions to you people. What is suffer? SAFAR. Yes, what is suffer? SAFAR. Question can be asked here, so listen carefully. Suffer. Suffer is an application. It's a here you can see suffer application for air quality. So air quality is to be examined and the data comes out regarding that suffer. So you can see here the air pollution mitigation. So and by which ministry? So mind it, here the ministry is Ministry of Earth Sciences, right? System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting Research. So is the full name of SAFAR, that is System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research. So SAFAR by which ministry? Ministry of Earth Sciences. Whereas CPCB comes out with National Air Quality Index. So you need to differentiate between these two things. National Air Quality Index, this is brought by Central Pollution Control Board, this index. So color coding, various color coding, discussing about the various level of pollution and the various contaminants that are monitored by this National Air Quality Index. You need to also look into that. So these are the contaminants. You can see that PM10, PM2.5, NO2, SO2, carbon monoxide, ozone, ammonia and lead. So these are the elements which are measured to bring this National Air Quality Index, and brought up by which agency? Central Pollution Control Board. So this one is brought up by CPCB, which works under Ministry of Environment and Forest, whereas SAFAR under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, anyways, I think I'm not able to find that particular one. Okay, if I just get to it some later on, so just I will let you know about it. So now come back to water resources. Then we have National Water Policy. This National Water Policy, it was adopted by this National Water Council in 2012. Alright, so certain recommendation, you can read this for your mains purpose, so it will give you better understanding, because question can be asked from the water this year in prelims and mains both. Now this particular is important for mains. Why water is important as a question, as an issue in exam? Because of water scarcity issue going on in our country. If you remember, the central government sent water express train to Latur in Maharashtra. So severe water scarcity, particularly in the peninsular region, this Plateau region, Maharashtra, Karnataka region. So it becomes important for that point of view. Moreover, pollution, groundwater contamination, which contaminants are found in which areas, and adverse health consequences of those. So just go through these are common points, and but it will give you better idea about if question comes on mains regarding the water scarcity or certain policy measures to mitigate the water scarcity issues. Then we have this National Water Resource Council. So National Water Resource Council is presided by whom? It is presided by Prime Minister of our country. So remember all the institutions which are presided over by Prime Minister. In while we did environment chapter of India yearbook, mistakenly I told that National Tiger Conservation Authority is also presided over by Prime Minister, but no, that is presided by Minister of Environment and Forest. So you need to correct that particular information. Even we have updated this on that environmental notes there. If you see the detailed description part below the video, so we have put on over there. So I just tell some more information about it. So regarding Project Tiger is a central sponsored scheme, right, and it works on the core buffer area way, right? So core area, buffer area. So core area exclusively Tiger agenda in the core area. So core buffer strategy it works on Project Tiger. So exclusively Tiger agenda in the core areas, whereas inclusive people-oriented agenda in the buffer. So the people's interest will also be taken into care in the buffer areas. So in the core areas, it is something like the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Then we come to this NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority. So NTCA is presided over by Minister of Environment and Forest. 8 experts or professionals having qualification and experience in wildlife conservation and welfare of people, including tribals, apart from 3 members of parliament. Then IG of Forest in charge of Project Tiger is ex officio member secretary. So remember that Minister of Environment and Forest is chairman of NTCA. Then some professionals or experts are also part of this, including representation from our parliament. IG is also the member secretary. That's it. So this National Tiger Conservation Authority, it was brought up by this particular act. Okay, anyways, that's all from this. And what we were looking for the institutions headed by Prime Minister. So come to this particular notes. So here we see the organizations headed by the Prime Minister of India. You note them down, highly important, right? And it's very good compilation. Almost it's a extensive one. So almost all the important institutions which are headed by Prime Minister, I have listed them here. You can see Interstate Council. So Interstate Council, it is what? It is a constitutional statutory body. It is a constitutional body. Under which article? Article 263, I believe, right? Niti Aayog, scrapping of planning commission. Now you have Niti Aayog headed by again Prime Minister. National Integration Council. Then fourth one is important, Skill Development Council. So as we have this National Skill Mission, so under National Skill Mission there is Governing Council. So this Governing Council, or you can say this is Skill Development Council, it is presided over by Prime Minister. The National Population Commission, National Disaster Management Authority, CSIR, Nuclear Command Authority, Department of Space. These 2 departments, they are headed by Prime Minister directly, no separate ministry for them. There is Department of Space and Department of Atomic Energy. Then National Ganga River Basin Authority, National Water Resource Council, and Indian Board of Wildlife. So these are 13 institutions which are headed by Prime Minister of India. So go through the names once again, try to remember these right now. If question comes, you should be able to mark it correct. Interstate Council, constitutional body. Niti Aayog, constitution, statutory, or what? Niti Aayog, no, it is just by the executive decision, right? So executive resolution created Niti Aayog. So it's non-statutory. So it is extra constitution, non-statutory body, Niti Aayog. National Integration Council, and Skill Development Council, National Population Commission, National Disaster Management Authority, CSIR, Nuclear Command Authority, Department of Space, Department of Atomic Energy. Then National Ganga River Basin Authority, National Water Resource Council, and Indian Board of Wildlife. Note them down, remember them, these are important. So I believe you remember these. And NTCA is headed by Minister of Environment and Forest. Remember these. Then you have this accelerated irrigation benefit program. This has been asked in the last year exams. In the last year or last exam, this question was asked. Accelerated AIBP, Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program. This program is to give loan assistance to the states to help them complete some of the major medium irrigation projects which were in an advanced stage of development, advanced stage of completion, and create additional irrigation potential in the country, right? Definitely. So AIBP, so the projects, irrigation projects, the major and medium one, not the smaller one, make it, there's a distinction, which are already in the advanced stage of completion, so those are being supported by the loan assistance to states, and also augmenting the irrigation potential in our country. Flood management, you can read this paragraph. Flood, you can see it's a recurring phenomenon in our country. So every year you see the flood somewhere, sometimes in Uttarakhand, sometimes in Jammu and Kashmir, then sometimes in Tamil Nadu. You have seen the last year Chennai floods. So question can be expected in mains. So be prepared to tackle the question, these kind of questions. So read this paragraph, somehow it will give better understanding. So it says it happens every other year in our country and causes huge damage to life, property, public and private, disruption to infrastructure. It cut off the towns and cities, so it isolates the cities and the towns, so further accentuate the problem. Moreover, it also creates psychological and emotional instability among the people. So this is something a different point, right? So remember this, it will give you some different dimension to your answer. So psychological and emotional instability is also being created by floods. Then Rashtriya Bard Ayog, it had estimated some huge losses, or you can say the total flood prone area in our country. It estimates how much area in our country is a flood prone area, that is 40 million hectare. No need to remember these kind of data, but you can just remember that there is Rashtriya Bard Ayog, which is entitled and tasked with this particular work. Then aquifer mapping and aquifer management plan. So what are the aquifers? So aquifers, these are natural rock formations which can store and economically yield water. So rock formations, these are aquifers. So you find these water issues are more in the peninsular region. Why? Because hard rocks. For example, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Plateau region, these are. And this particular management plan, aquifer mapping. So aquifer mapping, so that's why it is being talked, there should be mapping of the aquifers and manage those aquifers by bringing certain plans. So this particular plan it envisages a participatory approach, because unless we involve the local people into these plans and the mapping and all these particular things, you won't be able to succeed with the results. Groundwater development. So you can see huge variation in groundwater potential over different parts of the country, in the states, across the states. So it says while some areas like Gangetic Plains, there is huge groundwater potential, whereas hard rock areas have limited groundwater resources. And even you can say the development is also not uniform across within the region itself. Moreover, the issue, if you see the water scarcity issue in our country, this has been basically more about the mismanagement, or you can say over exploitation of the existing water resources. So what actually the human nature, the people, they are more greedy, or they think like this, all the natural resources, they are in plenty. So once this exploitation exceeds their their regeneration capacity, so it becomes unsustainable usage of our natural resources. So when over-exploitation of water, it leads to so many issues. Water scarcity is one, right? So that's why it is being told that it is more about, you can say, for example, of Israel. So in Israel, it's a highly water scarce country, it is, but still the water issues are managed so efficiently and effectively. So India can learn from Israel regarding this, how Israel being water scarce in terms of the resources, but still it has managed the issue very smoothly. So India can learn from these countries. So you can read this paragraph here, that development of groundwater resources in different areas of country has not been uniform. Intensive development in certain areas in countries has resulted in overexploitation, leading to decline in groundwater table in some areas, whereas some areas still safe for groundwater development. So because of reasons like subsidy on the electricity for agriculture uses, so overexploitation, over pumping of groundwater table, right? And even you can see the unsustainable agricultural practices like flood irrigation. Now flood irrigation is something that is wastage of water. Now it has been scientifically proved that micro irrigation brings more productivity to the crops rather than flood irrigation. So with flood irrigation, wastage of water, non-judicious utilization of our resources, moreover productivity is also lowered. So awareness has to be generated. Now the farmers, they won't automatically start relying over the sprinkler and drip irrigation, because they have to be told, they have to be aware about it. That's why extension services are highly important in agriculture. Extension means whatever the best practices are there, these are to be taken to the farms, to the farmers. So farmers, they have to be made aware about it. For that purpose, for example, DD Kisan. So DD Kisan is a channel that comes, so various programs, they come in the regional languages as well, so to spread the best practices available in our country. Then Nowcast is a messaging service that tells about various other issues. So Lab to Farm, we can say extension service, whatever being developed there. Soil health card, tell the farmers about the health status of these soils, what kind of nutrient available in their soil, and in what proportion the fertilizers to be added in that. So that's why it is also being said that water budget. So there was an article that came in Hindu once about water budget. So that article talked about that the water budget needs to be made. Now what do you mean by water budget? Just like a budget is made for to manage finances of our country, so what budget is? It tells about how much resources we have and what way those resources to be spent. Same water budget, it will tell the people that and the government that this much of water we have, and understanding the scarcity of water and telling the people why you have this limited resource, so to use them judicially, efficiently. So anyways, so this is more about the mains, this kind of discussion. Now you can find the contamination. Now this question can be asked in the prelims. In the groundwater contamination, what kind of contaminants are found in different areas? So it says salinity, fluoride, arsenic, iron. And there are other contaminants as well. Once a question has already been asked, which of the following contaminants are found in the groundwater table in India? It also had the uranium, right? Now, so these are basic contaminants. There are heavy metal contamination nitrates because of excessive use of the fertilizers and the pesticides. So different contamination happens with the groundwater table. So I just take you to those kind of issues here, or those contaminants. So here we see that fluoride, the fluoride contamination. Fluoride contamination is found in so many areas of India. You can see this. Andhra, Bihar, Gujarat, Haryana, basically North India it is found more in this region. But also in Karnataka, Kerala, MP, Maharashtra, Odisha, huge regions it is found fluoride contamination. But more in the North India. Now, how it can impact? It says that presence of fluoride in water cannot be detected without the help of water quality testing equipment, and high fluoride content it brings various impacts on the health of people. For example, when teeth becomes yellowing of teeth, and you can say scalps that comes on the teeth, damaged joints, bone deformities, which occur from long years of exposure to fluoride containing waters. So these are the various kind of health impacts because of fluoride contamination. Then it also says that certain study that on Gujarat that have revealed that frequency of sister chromatic exchange of fluoridic individuals indicate that fluoride might have genotoxic effect. So fluoride had been reported to cause depression in DNA and RNA synthesis in cultured cells. Okay, then conditions including aging, cancer, arteriosclerosis are associated with DNA damaging its disrepair. Then you come to that salinity. So it says prolonged exposure to water containing salts, it can cause kidney stone. I believe many of you people are aware about this thing, and it's a phenomenon widely prevalent in coastal Gujarat and many other coastal areas because of high salinity. Iron. So iron contamination in those areas where you find the iron mines, or there it could be more prone to the contamination. So when you think about the various contaminants, so think about it why it should be there. So Bihar, Rajasthan, Tripura, West Bengal, coastal Odisha, parts of Agartala Valley in Tripura. And arsenic, it is found in alluvial plains of Ganga. And arsenic contamination, it can cause a disease known as arsenicosis. Arsenicosis, it says it has no effective treatment, though consumption of arsenic-free water could help affected people at early stage of alignment to get rid of symptoms of arsenic toxicity. Otherwise, no effective treatment, it says it has. Heavy metals like lead, cadmium, zinc, mercury, these are heavy metal contaminations. And mercury, it can cause a disease, Minamata, I believe you know about it, and can cause impairment of brain functions, neurological disorder, retardation of growth in children, abortions, and disruption of endocrine system. Then certain fertilizers and pesticide contamination, nitrate contamination can happen because of excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. That's all from this. Come back to in the yearbook. You can read the Central Water Commission. What its function is basically function is coordination with the state governments, helping them in the various issues regarding the water resources, utilization of water resources. So initiating, coordinating, furthering in consultation with state government for control, conservation and utilization of water resources in the respective state for purpose of flood management, irrigation, drinking water supply, water power generation. So many wide-based issues are covered under this. It says the commission, if so required, can undertake the construction and execution of any scheme as well. So even the construction execution can also be taken by the Central Water Commission. Punchashun multipurpose project. What you need to gain from this Punchashun dam or Punchashun multipurpose project, where this project is being built or in the plans. This Punchashun dam is to be built on the Mahakali River. It is along the Uttarakhand Nepal border. It is basically to be built in Nepal, but it will also submerge the areas. So it is in the UK, Uttarakhand and Nepal borders, and certain part of Uttarakhand area will also get submerged under that. So Mahakali River or Mahakali River, Sharda River, that further joins Ghagra, and Ghagra is tributary of Ganga. So river Mahakali or Sharda is a tributary of Ghagra, which further, so Ghagra is a further tributary of Ganga. So just remember, Punchashun multipurpose project, India is helping Nepal to build this project. Still it is a planning phase. Nepal has recently showed its interest to further this project. So you can see here India-Bangladesh cooperation in this various rivers, intercountry rivers. So issues between India and Bangladesh and the rivers are basically regarding Teesta and Feni rivers. So Teesta river water issue and Feni rivers. And whenever any river that flows through the one or say multiple countries, issue comes in, because every country wants to maximize the benefit out of this particular resource. And the upper riparian state, they try to maximize the benefit, and lower riparian state always complain about it that they are not getting the sufficient resources. So it's a basic tussle that keeps on happening between the various countries, various states even within a country. So here between India and Bangladesh, we have the major river issues are on Teesta and Feni river. So you should know about this. If any question is going to come from river between India and Bangladesh, these are the major rivers. Teesta river. So where this river is? So the river originates from nearby Sikkim in the Himalayas, and further it joins Brahmaputra river. So Teesta is a tributary of Brahmaputra. Another important thing about Teesta, it joins Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. Right, so it's a river which had changed its course in the past time. Now it joins river Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. So Teesta, is it right bank tributary or left bank tributary? It is a right bank tributary. Feni river, so Feni river from Tripura and Bangladesh. So from Tripura to Bangladesh, finally it goes into or drains into Bay of Bengal. So Feni, Tripura, Bangladesh, then there's Teesta river from Sikkim, then comes below to West Bengal, finally into Bangladesh, and joins Brahmaputra river. Another important rivers, Barak, Brahmaputra, Ganga, which are between India and Bangladesh. Barak river in Assam. So there are major two river systems in northeastern part of India, one Brahmaputra and another is Barak. If you remember Barak, over this Barak river system, Barak Meghna, so over this Barak river valley, so nearby national waterway number 6 is to be built. Right, so till now how many national waterways we have? 5 we have this, and 106 are proposed out. So we will have 111 total national waterways. So this is number 6. That's all from this particular chapter number 27. Now come to next chapter, that is chapter 29. 28th welfare will do in the next lecture. Youth affairs and sports. So youth affairs, so what do you mean by it? I mean to say what this chapter will talk about regarding youth affairs. I used to say India is in demographic transition phase. So India is a young country. So it says around 65% of population is under 35 years of age. So we as a nation are young. Maximum people who are living in this country are young population. So means our dependency ratio is low. So most of these people are in the working age group. But how we can take advantage of this demographic dividend? When this young population is educated, skilled, it is healthy, and it is inclusive as well. So the government policies are inclusive as well to get the maximum benefit of this young population, this demographic dividend. So all these things are discussed here. For your mains it is important, for prelims you can skip it. National Youth Policy, you can read it once. Age group 15 to 29 for basically again for mains. This table is very good analysis is given here. So this objectives and priority areas for National Youth Policy 2014. For mains it is important how it can come in GS paper 2 and 3 both. As a policy it is a part of GS paper 2. As a 3, as this youth population they contribute to the economy, so it becomes part of GS paper 3. So you understand the objectives and the priority areas. And it's not necessarily that you are to write this as a part of National Youth Policy only. I just want to make you understand, if question comes regarding the importance of youth or different segments, their contribution to different segments, then how you can analyze that, and you can make them your own point rather than writing it as a point of National Youth Policy. You can read the first objective. It says creating a productive workforce that can make a sustainable contribution to India's economic development. So, the workforce which is productive, which furthers India's economic interest. So, how this productive workforce can be created? So, those will be the priority areas. How, on which areas to be worked. So, how this objective can be achieved? By working on education, employment and skill development, and entrepreneurship. Definitely, right? Then second objective, that we want to make our people healthy. So they remain healthy, they contribute more. So how we can make our people to remain healthy? By strengthening our health infrastructure, by promoting health and healthy lifestyle. Secondly, sports. So you may miss this point while writing answer in the mains. When you talk about healthy people, healthy young people, how to maintain them, or all these kind of the issues, or how to take maximum benefit for regarding demographic dividend. So healthy people, how healthy people can be there. So sports also has very eminent contribution in that. Third point, social values and community services to be promoted to build national ownership. How this can be, objective can be achieved by promotion of social values and community engagement. So these kind of the social issues definitely has to be taken care at the community level. Then civic engagement at levels of governance and facilitate participation. So participation, how this participation can be facilitated in the governance and civic engagement can happen. And participation in politics and governance is promoted among the local people. Youth engagement. Then support youth at risk and create equitable opportunity for all disadvantaged and marginalized youth. So basically going for the inclusiveness in fact here. So inclusion and social justice are two important priority areas to achieve this objective. So just analyze and understand them, so that you can use this kind of analysis somewhere in mains, because then it is a wide variety range of issues it is covering, so you can use it at some places definitely in the mains exam. National Service Scheme, NSS. So National Service Scheme, it is a voluntary community service, and how this voluntary community service is to be pursued by education through service and inspired by the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi. That is putting community before self. Not me, but you. Means the community centric scheme it is. NSS. I believe you might have heard about this NSS, NCC. Scouting and guiding, just again for mains, just you can use this kind of information somewhere. So it's an international movement aimed at building character, confidence, idealism, and spirit of patriotism and service among young boys and girls. Basically to promote balanced physical and mental development among boys and girls. Sports, you can read this for mains. National Sports Policy, again you can read this for mains. Rajiv Gandhi Khel Abhiyan. So this Rajiv Gandhi Khel Abhiyan, it is a central sponsored scheme and it was launched in the place of Panchayat Yuva Krida or Khel Abhiyan. So now we have Rajiv Gandhi Khel Abhiyan in place of Panchayat Yuva Krida or Khel Abhiyan. The objective is promotion of sports as a way of life among the youth, increased access to sports facilities throughout the country, conduct of sports competition across the country to identify sports talent and achieving excellence in sports. Here in the scheme, integrated sports complexes will be constructed in every rural block panchayats. So a few information you can gain from this particular Rajiv Gandhi Khel Abhiyan. And promotion of excellence in sports through institution. So which institution do we have here? That is Sports Authority of India. So this was established as a society, registered society, and it is nodal agency for broad-basing sports, for training of sports person to achieve excellence in national and international sports. So basically training and all, making our sports persons to be trained adequately. This sports authority is responsible for that. Then we have Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Then there are certain awards are there. Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. This award is for the most spectacular and outstanding performance by a sports person over a period of 4 years, immediately preceding the year in which award is to be given. So means for 4 years, if sports person has performed impeccably, this award is to be given in that regard. Right? Arjun Award, it says not only for 4 years at international level with excellence for the year for which award is recommended, but should also have shown qualities of leadership, sportsmanship and sense of discipline. So instead of this outstanding performance at international level for 4 years, but also certain qualities like leadership, sportsmanship and discipline to be showcased. That is Arjun Award. Then Dhyan Chand Award for lifetime achievement in sports and games. So even after retirement from sports career, if people they keep on contributing to sports by their performance and contribution to the promotion of sports, then that person is given Dhyan Chand Award for lifetime achievement. So lifetime achievement, so even after retirement, if they keep on contributing for the promotion of sports. Dronacharya Award. So Dronacharya was who? He was a coach. He was guru of Kauravas and Pandavas. So it is given to eminent coaches who have successfully trained sportsperson or teams and enabled them to achieve outstanding results in international competitions. So just remember for what purpose these awards are given. Dronacharya Award, Dhyan Chand, so Dronacharya Award for coaches, Dhyan Chand Award for lifetime achievements, so even after retirement. Arjun Award not only for 4 years performance international level, but also these kind of qualities like leadership, sportsmanship and discipline. And Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award for 4 years period, outstanding performance. That's it. scheme for assistance for anti-doping activities. So WADA is there, Medical Commission of International Olympic Committee, and WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. World Anti-Doping Agency is responsible for banning the certain substances to be used. So if you remember, in this year, Maria Sharapova, now she has been banned for a certain number of years to participate in the sports because she had taken certain drug which had been banned by WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. So Government of India became one of the members of Foundation Board of WADA, setting up the initiative of International Olympic Committee. So we have National Anti-Doping Agency, although now India is also in the top runner, third number in the maximum, in the top countries which are in doping cases. So Russia at the top level, at third is India in number of doping cases. Common play scheme. So if you remember, the Commonwealth Games, so they were held in 2010 in India, in Delhi, and during this time multiple stadiums they were built. They were built of international standards. They were refurbished. But after those games, the Sports Authority of India decided to open these stadiums to the people, to the sports persons, so that those people, those beginners could be trained and the professionals could carry further their talent and training in those stadiums. So it says for the optimum utilization of 5 stadia which were renovated at substantial cost for Commonwealth Games, so those are opened. For example, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, Karni Singh Shooting Range, SPM Swimming Pool Complex, Major Dhyan Chand Hockey Stadium, Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium. So these were thrown open for both imparting professional training to established sports person, also to beginners. Come and play. So come and play there. Next is Sports Talent Service Source Scheme. Okay, anyways, that's all from this chapter. Now, another important areas which remain, which can be important for regarding sports, as you see, the coming Olympic Games. So Olympic Games, they are on cards. So in 2016, Olympics are to be held in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. So regarding Olympics, questions can be asked. So I have brought certain data, certain information on Olympics. So I take you that particular certain important points regarding that. So it can be expected question if it comes on sports. So regarding Olympics, it becomes important. So here we go. So Olympics, the games, Olympic Games, the summer games. So Olympic Games are held every 4 years with summer and winter games. So if you may have heard about the winter games, where the for example, when it is held in Russia or some of these countries, where sports which need to be played in the ice kind of situation, snow situation, so they are winter games for that particular purpose. So how it is held? With a gap of 4 years each, and if you see among these are separated by 2 years. For example, now 2016 Summer Olympic Games, then after 2 years Winter Olympic Games, then after 2 years Summer Olympic Games, then after 2 years Winter Olympic Games. So between 2 Olympic Games, summer to summer, it is 4 years gap, right? And they're alternating by occurring every 4 years but 2 years apart. So alternatively Summer Olympic Games, so 4 years gap are there. And initially it was created with the inspiration from ancient Olympic Games which were held in Olympia in Greece from 8th century BC. So inspiration comes from Olympia, Greece, where games were held from the 8th century BC to 4th century AD. Then International Olympic Committee is the apex institution there, which manages the most of the topmost decisions taken by International Olympic Committee. Then the first Olympic Games, they were held under International Olympic Committee in Athens in 1896. So these were the first Olympic Games. So remember, first Olympic Games 1896, Athens in Greece. Then how it evolved further, you see Winter Olympic Games for ice and winter sports. Then Paralympic Games, the Paralympic Games for people, athletes with disability, so they participate in the Paralympic Games. And it was agreed over regarding the Paralympic Games between the International Olympic Committee and International Paralympic Committee that the same city will host both Olympic and Paralympic Games. And even regarding this Winter Olympic Games, initially it was decided to be supported by the same country in the same year, but then later on the Winter Olympic Games, they started to be held after 2 years after the Summer Olympic Games. So Paralympic Games, same cities to host the Paralympic Games as well. Then you have Youth Olympic Games. So Youth Olympic Games for teenage athletes, 14 to 18 years of age group. Now we see certain information regarding Rio Olympics. So this Rio Olympics, certain information. So golf and rugby, they have been added in this coming Rio Olympics. They say golf will return to games after 112 years and rugby after 92 years. So even though they had been played in Olympics before, but long way before, right? And Amul is the official sponsor of Indian contingent to 2016 Rio Olympics, and Salman Khan is the goodwill ambassador, right? So you may have heard about certain controversy related to this particular, that why Salman Khan, why not some sports person? So Amul, Salman Khan, okay, fine. Indian Olympics, so certain information regarding India's participation in Olympics. The first time India participated in 1900 in Olympic Games, but it was a lone athlete. It was not a team, in fact. So Northern Pitchrat, it won 2 medals in our first Olympic Games. So it was in 1900. But as a team, one nation sent the first team as a team in the Summer Olympic Games in 1920. So first time as a team India participated in 1920, but whereas overall first time 1900. And post 1920, then it has participated in every summer game since then. And India has also competed at several Winter Olympic Games beginning in 1964. And you see how Indian hockey team had dominated under the leadership of Major Dhyan Chand. So you can see here that winning 11 medals in 12 Olympic Games in between 1928 to 1980. And it included 8 gold medals total and 6 successive gold medals from 1928 to 1956. So see how one-sidedly our hockey team, it was in fact dominating the whole hockey sports in the world. Certain information regarding Indian Olympic Association. So Indian Olympic Association is responsible for selecting athletes to represent India at Olympic Games, Asian Games and other international athletic meets. And for managing the Indian teams at the events. It also acts as the Indian Commonwealth Games Association, responsible for selecting athletes to represent India at the Commonwealth Games. So this becomes very important if any question to come up. So this question becomes very probable one. Important information this is. So you can see it's Indian Olympic Association. It not only selects the athletes for sports person for Olympic Games, but also for other international events as well. For example, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games. So, which body is responsible? Indian Olympic Association. Then how it came into origin? It says post India's participation in 1920 and 1924, the major role was of Sri Dorabji Tata. So Dorabji Tata was the first president of Indian Olympic Association. that's all regarding these kind of information on Olympics. So do you remember something? If you don't remember, I believe you remember Amul and Salman Khan, right? You remember these things definitely. But you need to understand other things from where the question can be asked. For example, Indian Olympic Association, what it does, its role, India at Olympics, first participated in 1900. So these kind of information are more important than some other. And Olympics, we can read them once again, around 3-4 times. Try to remember the points regarding that. And if any question to be asked from sports, so Olympics becomes important area to be asked from. Rio, again you can look at Rio, where Rio is. Rio in the map, open your atlas. So whenever you start any lecture, you start watching these videos, carry atlas with you. But now it is in the end of the session, only 1 or 2 tutorials are left only. But still, once you keep on continuing watching the videos or any of your, even you study something, carry atlas with you. Okay, I show you where Rio is. In Brazil. It is in Brazil, definitely you know this, but where in Brazil? Okay, first we have to find out where Brazil is in our maps. This is what? China. Are you guys able to see this? Here it is. Brazil. Brazil, Fortaleza, where BRICS Summit was held in 2014. And where this BRICS Summit was held in 2015. In 2015, the BRICS Summit was held at, come on guys, answer the question, Ufa. Where Ufa is? Russia. I try to again remember where in Russia, north to south, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Ufa. So it is somewhere on the Ural Mountains. So on the foothills of Ural Mountains, Ufa is. Now come here. This is a place to be in news. Rio de Janeiro. So Rio, and if you remember 2 years ago, football World Cup was held in Rio, right? And now Olympics are to be held in Rio this year. So Fortaleza, Salvador, Rio, Sao Paulo, and here it is Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. Anyway, that's all for today. And in the next 2 videos, we will complete this India Yearbook. Though it took around 15-20 days for us to bring all the videos. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this series and you keep on working hard as time is running short. But don't panic, just remain calm, relax, do yoga, meditation or whatever you do. And if you like our videos, you hit like, comment, subscribe to our channel, share our videos so that many more people, they can also take benefit of this. Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.